Sassy Not Bossy.
Okay, welcome in, everybody. Okay, today I'm so excited. Jennifer Zerling is on today. And Jen, you and I have been friends for over 20 years.
Is it that?
Girl, you don't look it. And I feel like we get better with age, but I was thinking about meeting through like Gold's Gym and the industry. And then that garage sale at the old school house in Santa Monica was a long time ago. I swear to God, I think it was over 20 years ago. Yeah, I think it is. So it was
Remember
amazing.
Janet Galicius?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, that's how we met. Okay. Everybody, welcome in Jen. Jen, you are the most badass fitness age management expert. You are a mom. You are a wife. You are a daughter. You are an author. You are everything. You have so many credentials. And I'm so excited to talk to you because I don't trust a lot of people's opinions in the health and fitness world because, we know so many people and I feel like they're always trying to hawk something and then just all of that. So just everybody say hello to Jen and hi, Jen.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me on, Shauna girl.
How has life been? Talk to me.
Oh my
How are you?
It's very fulfilling. It's everything I wanted it to ever be. But the more you want, the more you have to work. Did you notice that?
Yes, absolutely. And you seem like you're doing it well, but I feel like you always have a great way of just going, I wanted this, just let's keep going. And it's good things at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. And without perfection, obviously. I mean, there's a lot of days where I'm like, what the heck is going on? Where's my space? Why do these people have to be in my world 24/7? There's no breaks. And you're like, but you know what? I've always wanted this. So now you have it. Now you got to deal with it.
But aren't you like, can I have balance at some point? Like my mom lives with us now and the caretaker comes to the house and brings home a newborn puppy. And they're like, well, you have 60 days to take it back. And I'm like, wait, I've got twins running around and my mom's living with us and then a newborn puppy. Like, that's not what I asked for. So some things you ask for and some things you don't. You're just like, oh, how do I balance all of this?
Boundaries. That's how boundaries.
And you have a really good husband. I feel like
the best.
Yeah. How do you think people do this? Having each of us having two kids, like how do people do it without a really good husband?
Oh gosh, just people who do it with more than two kids, without any husbands. Yeah, it's tough. And there's a woman, Lisa, at my temple. She's got 4 kids. She recently got married, but she was juggling triplets and a daughter by herself. And I'll never forget this. We were at an assembly because poor little Millie got, passed away in a car accident. So all the mothers came and she had to bring all 4 kids because she didn't have help. And the mother to my right, who has a ton of help, tons of resources, is like all stressed out. And then she looks down where Lisa was sitting and she's just like, how does she stay so calm? And I'm like, that's a great question. I mean, you got it all and she doesn't have it all. And she was able to keep it together with 4 kids as a single mom.
And she's the one that lost her daughter?
No, it's one of our friends who lost the daughter. But we were there at an assembly as like a memorial for this 2.5-year-old little girl who got hit by a car. It was, oh my gosh, worst day of my life.
I feel like you can get through a lot, but I don't know how people get through that. Like, you know what I mean? So maybe she was just feeling really blessed or maybe she was really medicated. I'm not sure anymore.
No, not medicated. And she's the woman you see now that she's even married. And she's just always like, hi, Miss Jen. And she comes over, gives me a hug. And it's a beautiful embrace for a couple minutes. And her daughter's on the floor having like a nervous breakdown. She's only like 3 years old. She's like, hey, mommy. And she's like, I love you, Miss Jen. How's your day? And I'm like,
oh my gosh. I need whatever she is eating or drinking. God bless all of these mothers out there, all of us.
Yeah.
Okay. But the reason why I need to talk to you today is because I've been waiting for you because you're so busy. But Jen, I think about you nonstop when I'm not on TikTok. I see things from TikTok.
Neither am I.
Girl, it's just selling nonstop. And then they get your algorithm. Yeah. And then I'm seeing all these kids, and I'm not aging myself, but like just people that I know have not been in the health and fitness business for a long time.
Yeah.
And they have lab coats on. And I'm like, okay. And then you find out they're not a doctor. They have nothing to do with being a physician. They're lying and they're just trying to give advice with health and fitness and they're trying to sell. So like with all of these fake fraud, there's some decent ones out there, but all the shitheads that you're like, what is happening right now? What would you say to people that don't know where to start and they're heavy, they're unhappy? Like what do you say to clients that come to you?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So anytime you have an expansion of a bigger platform and a bigger ability to have freedom of speech, we get into a lot of trouble. And that's what we're experiencing right now on every platform, not just ours. You know, the whole internet explosion, you got YouTube is like putting like TV out of business. Think about it. Anybody can upload a video and be the next movie star. You know, now there's AI that's going to throw the whole Hollywood into a frazzle. I mean, it is insane. So what do I say to somebody? I think the first thing is check your resource. Make sure you know who this person is, not just their credentials, because I was just talking to a client about this morning. He was interviewing this guy to be his CFO. And the guy's like sitting back in the chair. Look, I went to Harvard. You know, I have an accounting degree. And he's like, have you ever been a CFO before? No, but I'm a quick learner. And he's like, next. Didn't even want to talk to the guy because unless the guy had explicit experience in his particular industry, which is very complex, he's not even interested in even further exploring his employment. So I want people to start thinking that way. If I'm going to hire a trainer, a nutritionist, somebody to help me age well, I mean, I'm 47. I eat, breathe, and live age management. I didn't have a facelift. I don't wear really a lot of makeup. I will say I put a little eyeliner on for you. I didn't put any eyeshadow. I'm noticing that's pretty good. I did a little slivet over here and a little bit of mascara. I do dye my hair. I'm not going to lie to you, you know, but
No,
you know,
you look
look at my skin. Like you just want to look this. I fell, not that. Where is that? That's a fall. This, I got to check out my dermatologist. That's what sucks about getting older. But you know, I think you got to really know how to ask the right questions. Number one. Number two, maybe ask for references if you're absolutely not sure. Number three, because the internet is so vast, start to see if this person's out there, because if they're not, that's very challenging. You know, my husband's a chiropractor. He has nothing on him on the internet, but he's very good. But he never, ever got into the whole internet thing. So now he's in a position where, he's just going by word of mouth, which is back in the day.
Which is huge, though. Still, I think people are going back to word of mouth. But, you know, I also say that people should go with a person that lives the lifestyle like you. You know, like I remember after the twins, I came down to visit you and I was just so big and I had to balance my hormones. And I was like, Jen, I need help. You're like, I'll help you, because you bounce back so well. And not a lot of people do. But I just feel like this has been your lifestyle of just consistency, of taking care of yourself, making time for yourself while raising your kids and your business. But what do you say to people that just say, well, I can't make time for myself. I've got too much going on.
Yeah. Everybody has 24 hours in the day. It's what you do with your time. Okay. No one has time. Take me 2 years ago with a very healthy body and mind, and I have sudden sensorineural hearing loss, which is complete hearing from my right ear. I didn't have time to go to UCI and wait for 2 hours every time I went. I didn't have time to explore, go to audiologists to find out what my problem was. At first, I went to urgent care. They misdiagnosed me. And because I am so inquisitive with my health and I know a lot about medicine, you know, because I work with doctors full time, I was like, this is not good. If I don't get into an ENT specialist and get all the treatments necessary within a very tight little window, this ain't coming back. And I had 3 different doctors tell me, you have 5 days, and we were already on day 4, to start treatment for even 30% back. So I didn't have any time for that. But you know what? When urgency strikes, you make the freaking time. Okay. I didn't have time to have a major sewer line backup. I bought this beautiful, close to $1 million, tiny little box in the central part of Orange County. It's tiny. Okay. For the amount of money I spent on this tiny house, and God bless this home, you know, I should have gotten a mansion. Okay. 7 weeks into living here, a major sewer line backup, and I work 70 hours a week. And I turned to my husband at 11 o'clock at night and I said, this, my friend, is going to be seamless for everybody. I train clients at 6 a.m. I'll call the insurance right afterwards. And that's what I did. And I had to endure that for 6 months. Okay. Everyone has time. It's how we manage our time. And if you have poor time management skills, you got to work on that. And you also have to get out of your minds that you're busier than anybody else, because people who play the busy card, to me, if they're saying that, they're not busy enough.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why that's why I love interviewing you right now, because it's like saucy, not bossy. Because when, you know, you're a woman that has a lot of sauce to you, where you're like, okay, this sauce didn't work, throw this in, this in, this. Okay, just throw it out. Just bring something else and we'll make a different sauce. And you're not just like a boss bitch. I hate that whole thing. I'm too busy. I'm a boss. And like no kids want a boss. No person wants it. Husband doesn't want a bossy bitch wife. But what do you say? Because I feel like with you, you're a verb. So like all those people that say they can't make time, I think they're just deflecting and they just want to like have it build up in their brain and go, I got to get to that. And they victimize it and then they never get to it and then things get worse. It's kind of like when you don't rehab your leg, right? And you just ignore it. You either rehab it or it's going to get cut off. So what do you say to those people that are like, I just can't handle it right now. I have a blockage. I just can't
Yeah,
do it.
I say you can handle it, you won't handle it. You can handle it, but you choose not to handle it. Okay. Everyone can handle everything. You got to be solution oriented. A lot of people focus on the things that are out of their control. And, talking about people speaking out of line, there's a lot of people in our industry that are starting to get all political on their Facebook pages and their Instagrams. I'm like, stay in your lane. Let's not bring chaos into the healing world, because fitness, nutrition, lifestyle stuff, that should be people's happy place. Nobody's happy talking about the divide. Nobody's happy talking about wars and tariffs and this and that. Yeah, it sucks. But you know what? Everything comes in cycles. And the most important thing is, until you have the strongest physical and mental foundation for yourself, you are absolutely worthless to the rest of us. Okay.
I love you. Yeah.
It's true. Okay.
It's so
And
true.
I'm sick and tired of people saying, I can't, I won't. You don't have to, but don't talk about it to me, because I'm solution oriented. Okay.
Yes.
I'm solution oriented. I can't waste my time in this conversation. We've talked about this multiple times. I want to help you, but you haven't done anything to take the leap in a different direction. Going the same way is not working for you. So if you're not willing to pivot, I'm not willing to waste my valuable time.
This is why I love you. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
right?
And have you had, with that response, have you had people shift and like and change because you're not enabling that behavior?
Yes. And I've had people who are like, F you.
Great.
Okay. I mean, I recently had a weight loss client at the clinic basically write me this whole dissertation, how we see things differently. And she's a dietitian and she's like, you don't understand, but she doesn't want to do the work. And it's funny because the first few weeks of my coaching of her, she's like, I got to use this on my clients. I don't have a hard approach on people. That's not how I coach. I have and not to toot my own horn,
You should.
I have a vast emotional intelligence, and not a lot of people are born with that. I could take anybody in the world and love on them and give them exactly what they need. But if their vessel isn't open to receiving my love, I can't do anything for them. Okay. And there's a lot of people that I'm like, listen, this one guy in particular, I said to him, I know you want to work with me another month, but we're not going to spend another month arguing why you shouldn't log or why you shouldn't report this or why you're not going to pivot there or understand this. We're not here to argue. Half the time, I feel like I should be paying you because you're doing most of the talking. Okay. You paid me to help you. Let me do my work.
What is that? All the time. What is that?
It's the abundance amount of voices that people hear and their friends, their family. Information travels very quickly and people are overloaded with information and they become their own advocate in a way that almost like destroys their ability to succeed. You need to streamline how you receive your information. You need to have the right training to determine what's right and what's wrong. And if you don't, hire an expert. It doesn't have to be forever. I tell everybody, I don't want you to marry me. I'm married already. I don't need you to be my next spouse. No, Don't be my nutritionist forever. Like, no, I have people after a year, like, go fly. You got the wings, go. You don't need me. Refer your family and friends so I can help them too. That's going to make your life easy when you go on vacations with them and you're all being fit versus, oh, I know you work with Jay-Z and she said you can't do this and you can't do that. You could do anything you want. It's just a matter of what your priorities are, what you see is the most important thing for you and your family. I mean, mamas, don't you think these kids want a dynamic mom who's thriving and feeling good, or someone who's schlepping and complaining about every damn thing?
1,000%. You can tell the parenting. Yeah. And I don't understand the soft parenting. So it's like with clients too. No, but we're not being soft with our clients. Like I've fired many clients in the past because I'm like, this is not working. Right. Or like if my daughter's running into traffic, I'm not going to be like, come over here, please. It's like, no, grab, let's have some action. Get your ass here. This is
you want to die?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You want to live a thriving life, right? But just these people are just stuck in their phones. They're like, oh, I want my kids to be friends with me. I'm like, no, just like clients, I don't need to be friends with them in the beginning, especially because then there's that whole thing of like, well, now and it has to fit. And I tell people all the time, if I don't fit for you and you don't fit with me, then that's fine. Then
Yeah.
like stop being an asshole who asks all the questions and then it's an asshole that doesn't want to listen to us, right? That's
You don't need that in your life, okay? And here's the deal. I interview people before I let them work with me. And I'm not high almighty on myself. I don't think
yes,
I'm
you
better
should
than
be.
anyone else. But it's a very intimate relationship when someone hires you to help them better themselves, okay? And if they're not coachable, they're wasting not only their money, but they're wasting your time. And time, like we were just talking about, is very limited. And we're here for only a set period of time, and we don't even know when that time, is done. So I think that we have to maximize every moment that we're here. We have to live our own purpose. We have to fulfill our own moral compass, which for me is not taking money from somebody who's not going to do the work, and how am I going to make a difference in this world? It's being a branch. I mean, I give my clients the ability to work with their friends and family outside of me. I want them to be the me to them because I don't get to work with everybody. Okay. So if I don't equip them with all the tools to do that, then I haven't done my job.
Have you always been like this? Like as a kid, were you just always saucy and leader and in all of that? Or what was moments where because why did you get into this field to start with?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a great question. It's interesting because I bumped into this kid, Alex, years ago. I was already living in California. I'm from New York. And I saw him in like a cafe and I went up to him. We started talking. And I don't know what made me say this, but I'm like, yeah, back then I wasn't, that popular. He goes, are you kidding me? You were like one of the most popular girls in the grade. So it's like all perception of yourself. Like back then I was more deflated. I didn't feel like I was enough. But I always took leadership positions. I always did a lot of things, but I had a shy side to me and I had to outgrow that shy side to evolve into who I am today. And still sometimes I find myself regressing to shyness. I could be amongst a bunch of mothers at my daughter's school and these women are sometimes like really judgmental. It's like to a point I'm like it's just, it feels nasty to even be around, but I regress a little bit because I'm like, I don't even want to be all Jay-Z with them because that's not going to be received well because they already have like this weird dynamic about their personality disorders that you just kind of have to let them be who they are so that you don't be too popular. You know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do, but they shouldn't know you anyway. So fuck them. You know what I mean? They shouldn't even get the chance to see your sauce. But okay, so you're dealing, that's why I got out of LA and I don't know how the OC, but like I don't do well in positions like that, but I'm just
Yeah,
starting.
you would kill them. You would kill these women.
Really? But those are also the women that I probably would not have been friends with in high school. Like
Correct.
we were the popular ones. They hated on, and then, yeah, but I'm also a woman that's very happily married. And I've been noticing lately, the whole like hurt people. And I'm like, why are you so busy on everyone else's life? Why can't you just hone in on your own? Like, why can't you, I want to bring a mirror to these women, but you're
Yeah.
right. Staying away and kind of having your boundaries with that is good.
Yeah.
How do you do it? How do you do? Cause I'm nervous. I am nervous because my kids are only 4. So when I start getting into, and what happens if your kids like kids and you don't like the mom? What do you do?
Well, that's
Jay?
what we're dealing with. And then some of the moms are actually telling their kids not to hang out with my kid because my kid is a leader.
She's amazing.
Thank
Are you
you.
kidding me?
It's horrible. So I had to navigate through that for myself because I teach people love, I teach people strength. And as women, we should be empowering each other just automatically. I mean, even if we have our differences, whatever those differences are, if you can't vocalize your difference and why you don't love me, which they can't, because I asked one of them one time, did I do something?
Good.
No, I just thought you were avoiding me. So I felt weird. So it was their own inadequacies and insecurities, which I feel horrible about. I'm like, I don't want them to feel that way. And I'm not the person on the campus that walks in like all hot stuff, strutting her stuff, like ever. I go in, I pick up my kid. A lot of times it's in the car line. And honestly, last year I thought it was just me. I found out that 6 other mothers feel the same way. 6. And that's only that I know of. And it's not just these people. Like we're dealing with a world that is so, they have too much going at them. So it could be that they're very stressed out. Maybe they're thinking, oh, I have my shit together. So how does she like have that all together? I have my moments, but I get out of my moments. I decide I don't like living here. I don't like feeling this way. I'm the only one that can change it. So what do? I go outside, I garden, I go outside, I sweep my pavers, I go outside, I swing on the little swinger in the front yard. I call someone, I make cupcakes, I deliver to all my neighbors. Do things that are easy to do, very accessible, and do them right now. Don't wait until the week is over and be like, oh, that was the worst week ever. I'm so glad it's Friday. Every single day is an opportunity to be someone better,
I love that. Yeah. And a lot of people go to food for that, or
Yeah.
this American culture of having a shit week and then
Mhm.
drinking all weekend and then
Right.
being hungover and doing the week again and then doing it all over again. Right.
Yeah.
So the balance is beautiful. And then you're saying control the controllable of what you can. Like,
Yeah.
I like my house clean as I can. It's not, it's a war zone half the time, but like making my bed or doing
Yeah.
things that I can control. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
We're constantly cleaning up the house. We have 2 young kids. You walk into this house and it's like a museum. This is my sunroom. I'm in the back. I mean, I have 2 young
That
kids.
looks amazing
Yeah.
until they come home, right? Like, that's
No,
beautiful.
no. When they come home, let's just say they eat on my table over here. I make them take off their stuff. I'm like, hey, are you done with that water and food? Yes, mommy. I'm like, put it in the sink. Thank you. I run a very tight ship because I want these 2 kids to be good people in this world. I don't need them to be slobs and feel entitled that they're better than anybody else.
I love that. And also, when you have structure with children, it means that you love them and they feel loved,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I just think I'm looking around at humanity and I'm like, who raised you? What is
Mhm.
happening? And an 18-year-old girl, Jay, and she wants to lose all this weight. And she goes, but I don't know. I've never been into a grocery store and gone shopping. How do you do it?
Yeah. That's
What?
your first session with her. That's your first session with her. You're like, you know what? That's okay. You're going with me. I'm going to be your first. And that's it. You know what? I've given up even judging what people can and can't do and what they've been exposed to because nothing amazes me anymore. It's amazing how the generation that you and I grew up in was a matter of doing and creating and now it's just given. I mean, even my kids are like, it's taking forever. I'm so bored. And I'm like, you have no idea what being bored is. You want to feel boredom? Or do you want to take that back? You have 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's what I thought. Like I get on my kids and they're like, they don't understand what I mean, but they know what they just said is not cool.
Right.
You know, hey mom, did you bring my iPad? I'm like, iPad? We're going 10 minutes away from our house. Now my husband brings the iPad because he wants to listen to his sports in the car. But you know, for me, I want to talk to my kid.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
engage them and make them understand that not everything's, you know, on a computer screen. Like when we go to a restaurant, you're freaking coloring. You're not watching my iPhone. That's my
Right.
work phone. But I want to watch videos, mommy. So now I have a new thing that I do. So my daughter, who's learning how to read, she's in first grade. If she reads the book, she gets, depending on the deal, she gets either 2, 3, or 4 short videos from Facebook. You know, those like stupid videos that are like AI.
Yeah.
She loves those. And they're 15 seconds each. And depending on how many coins she gets from reading, she gets the videos. That's the amount of screen time she gets. And it's a
Love it.
reward.
That's parenting. Way to go.
Yeah.
Good job. Yeah. Way to go. Okay. So I want to ask you, there's so many things and I know you're so busy, but okay. So I was just reading that the CDC says there's 100 million obese people out there, right? Probably less now because of Ozempic. And I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. But people are so confused about why they're heavy. What would you say to people out there that are now taking Ozempic or like, why do you think this world, there's 100 million and 22 million are morbidly obese?
Yeah.
Like what is happening with this world, Jay? Like what's happening? What do you think?
I think it's just a compounding effect. You know, the first thing I teach people, and I told you this on when you asked me about like what I want to talk about, like so the Jay-Z Fitness High Five. It's very simple, very very simple. Maximize your nutrition, your hydration, fitness. Everyone's different, by the way. It's not just one size fits all. Sleep and me management. How you manage your nervous system. Do you run a very like crazy, chaotic mindset? Because that impacts all the organs in your body and the way your nervous system intervenes with your gastrointestinal tract, which functional medicine is an art. It's not even a science because people have major GI upset more than they even understand. It's being like undiagnosed. People have more ADD than I've ever seen. There's a huge growth in Alzheimer's and dementia in people in their 40s. People have huge cognitive decline. We have patients who are in their 20s with no libido.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So it is a plethora of medical disorders that are compounding and all impacting the metabolism. And the metabolism is a key driver for your weight. But we're not just talking about metabolism as it relates to, you know, your energy output. And like when we talk about exercise and all that, there's metabolic function in all of your organs. So when all of that is depleted, and on top of that, you have a genetic disposition for obesity, which a lot of people have, and people are not sleeping or not sleeping well. I mean, you know, my sleep studies we've ran on these patients and half of them have sleep disorders. What, you're going to put everyone on a CPAP?
Right.
You know, it's absurd. You know, if someone's on a CPAP, it was a big stigma. It was a big deal. Now people have sleep disorders. Is it the medications people are taking? Is it the lack of nutrients they're getting in their diet? Is it just the constant requirement of the brain to fire up because they just can't have a couple minutes without any sort of electronic intervention? Okay, people are doing this. I don't even know what color people's eyes are anymore.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
You go into a store or a restaurant and they're not even talking to each other. I have a really good friend. I'll never forget. I said to her, if you don't get off that phone, this is our last dinner date. Because
Good.
I don't need to, and I love this girl. I don't need to sit here watching you while I'm doing my business. You don't understand how my business works. It's 24/7. I said, then we shouldn't be out now. You should be working.
Agreed. Good for you.
Right?
Yeah. You might as well just be home and you'll be the person that she's texting on the phone while she's with somebody
Correct.
else. Might as well sit on your
Yeah.
couch.
And
Yeah.
I honestly don't think we went out much after that now that I think about it. But the whole point is like, who do you want to be when you grow up? If you want to be a fit, badass machine, you got to act like one. So I think that instead of asking like, and that is a great question, why are so many people obese and overweight? We should be asking, are those people focused on being fit? And the answer is no. Some of them think they are. I joined the gym. I don't understand. Well, what else are you not doing? Let's focus on what we can do. And I'll be honest with you. So to answer your question about the obesity drugs, our clinic gives these drugs to our patients. However, they have to work with me. If they don't work with me, they lose muscle mass and they don't really learn the lifestyle required when they get off the drugs. Now, once in a while, we'll have a patient who needs to stay on it for a while. Why? They have metabolic disorders that have been diagnosed through lots of testing. Okay. So there's those people. And then there's people who are like, I've been struggling and I just need to lose the last 50 pounds or last 20 pounds. Is Ozempic the answer? Well, I've tried everything. Well, the clinic gives it, so they give it. What I do is I'm like, listen, we can't be on this forever. Let's be on this for like 3 to 6 months and let's reassess. In that time frame, if they don't change their lifestyle, you know, the high 5 anchors that I told you about, they're going to either be on the drugs indefinitely and deplete in other ways, lose a lot of muscle and just not really get it, or they're going to gain their weight back. One of the two. Okay. But they have to decide, this doesn't work for me. I want to go here. But the steps in between to get from here to there needs to be an individual path. And that's where a lot of people are missing the mark.
Well, no one's being accountable for that. So like your doctor, he makes people accountable to work with you.
They have to, yes.
That's amazing because now you can get it online. You don't know what you're getting. And then the Costco, literally the Costco where I'm living, they literally had to get rid of tons of medications because the whole effing wall is now Ozempic and like all of the Mounjaro and all of them. They don't have room enough. Yeah, they don't have room enough for all the other medications because it literally sells out. That's what they're making their money on.
Yeah,
so
and they don't know where are they getting it from. Like you have to know the compounding pharmacy too.
Yeah, and everything you said is so right. You lose all your muscle and you don't gain it back. We don't gain muscle like we used to. And then it's just fat on top of fat. And people are not losing that much that fast, in my opinion, because I did a B balance. That's what I was into. And I'm into the natural hormones.
Yeah.
And that's how I lost my weight, was because I took out gluten, dairy, alcohol, sugar, and gluten, dairy, sugar, alcohol, and something else I should know. My brain's gone. Oh, and nuts and seeds.
And by the way, you look amazing.
Well, I feel really good. Thank you. But like, remember when I came to you and it's just like balancing hormones, but I did a 28-day clean out with progesterone, right? Which I really tell people balance it. But what it did was it balanced my cortisol. And what we're saying is it's like, sure, you can have a workout plan, but if you're always on your phone, your cortisol's high and you're just stressed, and you live off of that adrenal gland depletion, like you can't bring it back, just with like not eating. It's just like, it just depletes you entirely. And then you don't look good. And I'm just looking at these Ozempic phases and I'm like, okay, that could be for you. But with me and the clean out, what I did for 28 days, you lose between 15 to 22 pounds in the first month. But Ozempic, I don't think they're losing that much in the first month.
No, it
naturally.
just depends on the person. A lot of the people on Ozempic, they don't exercise a lot. They don't have energy. They don't they're not even fit to begin with. So they come into our program and I baby step them into a fitness program. It's like literally baby stepping. Like one girl is doing like a few moves a day. And I just want to know how many steps you got over the next week. Report it back. We speak once a week and they can text me questions in between. But after 12 weeks, they're like completely in a different place. They're not necessarily like Olympic level athletes, but they're, much more into the structure of being a fit person. And then I always tell them day one, this is not a 12-week fix. Okay. I know you signed up for a 12-week program, but plan on being in this clinic in some capacity for at least 1 year. We have birthdays, anniversaries, we go on trips. I mean, a lot of things happen in a year, but in 12 weeks, anyone can say, when can I do this program? Oh, I'm not going anywhere for the next 12 weeks. Let me do it now. I want to work with the person who travels all the time, where their life is completely chaotic, so that they can really streamline how to make their lifestyle what they do no matter where they are in the world, right? Forget the drugs. The drugs are just the icing on the cake. If you don't have the foundation in place, none of these drugs are going to be long lasting solutions.
So how do people, I know you're so busy, but are there other, like, how do you, if people are like, I want to work with you, how does that happen? Do you work just over online? Do you have people that you trust that work with you? Like, I feel like there needs to be more people that work with humans like you. I feel like they're just so lost.
No,
I'm not sweet, Jay. Like, you really are. You live your truth. You are. And like what you said, your boundaries with your kids, boundaries with yourself, like help people need a strong dynamic person in their life to not yell at them, but to just say, hey, let's get a structure going, because they probably weren't raised with that. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of people will go back and live their life in jail because there's actually a structure in prison. Right. And a lot of people have never had that growing up. So they're like, I know what to do once I get in there. Yeah. So it's like, we could be their warden. No, just kidding.
That's a really good point. And to that point, I mean, look, I have a friend who is in New York City. He started a whole business of trainers, and they had to have been inmates in the past. That's his whole business. You would love this guy.
I bet I would.
So he trained my sister. Love him as a person, and his purpose is amazing. He's taken all these former inmates and he's making them into career-driven trainers, which is amazing. So I don't have anyone that works with me. I wish I can form a whole team of folks. The thing is, I used to work for the Sports Club LA years ago. Remember them?
Yo, you and I, girl, I worked for them too. I feel like we met a million different ways. You and I, we always were crossing paths. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
My gosh. Yes. That's how small this world is. It's amazing. So I worked there as the assistant fitness manager on Sepulveda, and I opened up Beverly Hills.
I remember.
Okay.
I know, you're a queen, girl.
Thank you. Thank you. I hired all my trainers. I got the nutritionist in team, the Pilates, gyrotonics. And, what was my point of bringing that up for a second?
People working for you. And
Thank you. So the whole thing about working for me is I've been trained in 5-star service as you have, exceeding people's expectation, giving them above and beyond what they even thought they were paying for. When you have people in our industry, which I know you would agree with, it never amounts to the level of service and expertise that you bring to the table. And it's not coming from a place of I'm better than everybody. It's very little things. So years ago, I had to go somewhere and I gave a couple of my clients to my trainer friends, and just little things. They showed up 5 minutes late. And they said, sorry, the traffic. They didn't push the client on the hill, even though the trainer is like a huge athlete and loves hiking. Like just little things that add up. So now the client comes back. I couldn't wait for you to come back.
Yeah.
It's not that I can't form a team, and I'm not against it. I've tried it a couple of times and then I never pursued it again.
Then how do people, so I know you have your book, Breaking the Chains of Obesity, right?
Yes. My mother named that book, by the way, because she has struggled with obesity her whole life. And then I wrote the book, and she's like, you have to call it this because you broke all of the habits and patterns that I've had my whole life, and you've gone a completely different direction. So it's about epigenetics, where, if you do these tools, you could actually realign your genes to be healthy genes.
Okay. Can we find this on Amazon?
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's what I'm saying. I feel like there's only one of you, right? And I want people to get to know you better, and all of the way that, you're changing people's lives. But it is hard because there's only one of me. There's only one of you. I can't take on so many clients. I've got kids. I've got my mom now. So I want people to read that book. So that's really great
They
That's
can
really
learn the
great.
5 anchors also through my course. So during COVID, when everyone freaked out and they're like, oh my God, the gyms were closed. So I work part-time at Orange Theory Fitness. During the class times that I was teaching classes, I literally went into a recording studio and I put together my course. It's the Jay-Z Fitness Lifestyle with the 5 anchors. Honestly, if everybody learns the 5 anchors, that's the best starting place. Like everything you mentioned is all in that course. It's very, very inexpensive. And it goes into strong detail, very short videos, like 10 minutes each. Because I hate courses that are long. You lose me after 5 to 10 minutes. So I created the course that's like, you go in, oh, wow, 8 minutes and 60. I could do 8 minutes. I could do 12 minutes, but it's never longer than like maybe 15 minutes. Okay. And it's everything you need to know from a very basic foundational standpoint. There's no like major science talk in there. Nobody cares about the science. I know there's a lot of stuff on social media. Follow the science. It's all about the science. Nothing that you and I do is scientific. Math is scientific. We know that 1 + 1 always equals 2. But we don't know that a salad and salmon is not going to spike the hell out of your blood sugar. I had a client who's like, why is my blood sugar still high? He was eating too many vegetables. And because he has prediabetes, he just didn't have the right enzymes in place in his gut. It was a disaster. And how do we know all this information? I made him do a CGM, a continuous glucose monitor. So every time he ate something, he had a postprandial read and we're like, oh, wait, time's out. Let's see this. Let's modify this. I mean, a lot of tweaking and a lot of following and a lot of different times of the week affected him differently until we figured it out. Same thing with this woman. She's 73 years old. She had no idea why. She's pre-diabetic, skinny as heck, works out. And we identified a couple of factors in her life. And she went back to her doctor. The doctor's like, this is amazing. So now she's managing it. She still has it, but she's managing it and she understands how to manage it. So it's not a science.
I'm going to put your link for your course underneath here so people can get to it. And just to geek out for a second, I want to ask you, what do you think about the blood type diet? What are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think it's something you can look at and just go, okay, just get an idea, there's something to it? Or is it kind of like a horoscope where it's there's a little bit of truth, but
I've had so many people say they've done it and they've done it consistently and then it worked for them.
Okay.
So I would have to dive very deep into the science of that as far as the research goes. Most of the time, the research is not conclusive. Like I feel like I've done that before for that particular diet and I'd be like, okay. So my conclusion was, where was that person coming from? Let's just say they were eating gluten, dairy, and all this stuff. And they cut all that out and they followed what they're supposed to eat based on their blood type. I think that they eliminated all the sugar spiking carbs and I think they eliminated all the inflammatory stuff that mitigated the issue and made them feel that's the reason why. That's my opinion based on my previous looking into those types of diets, specifically that one, but it was so many years ago because I had one person who said to me, I'll only hire you if you coach me based on this diet. So I said, that's not a problem, but I can't say that this diet is for you. I said, but we can see what works for you and what doesn't. And to that point, if you do try any diet, you better have starting numbers and ending numbers. You can measure through labs. You can measure through a DEXA scan. There's a lot of AI assessments now. We have all of our patients getting the Prenuvo test. Have you heard of that?
No, tell me more.
Yeah. So Prenuvo is AI. It determines if anybody has any cancers. It also looks at your spine. It shows you if you have like degeneration. And there's also the Clearly Heart scan, so people can see if they have heart disease in their vessels in their heart before they have a heart attack. So there's ways of determining, like almost looking through the curtain and saying, am I good? Yeah.
Wow. Does insurance cover this or is this still out of pocket? Yeah, of course, because this is an illness business that they have. Yeah. But that is really great.
It's
I
great.
geek out on stuff like that.
Yeah. And it's expensive, but it's worth it. I mean, we had a guy, so he's been on our program for 8 years and Dr. Chavez was like, hey, I need you to get this Prenuvo test. And I think he had stage 1, I think it was colon cancer. So they removed the colon cancer and he's fine now.
And he could tell through that test. Oh my gosh. I may have to come down and see you. Yeah. Because people worry so much. Am I going to get this? Am I going to get this? And I'm like, you're going to get cancer if you keep worrying about it nonstop. Do something about it. It's true. The stress. Yeah. Okay. So I know you have to go. You're very busy, but I could talk to you all day.
I have a good solid 10 minutes, but
Okay, good.
Can we make a pact that we like talk more?
Girl, I know. I miss
You
you so
know?
much. Yeah. And I want to tell everybody out there,
I love you.
I love you. And I still like you, Chris and I always say, thank God for Jay-Z, because when I was trying to have the twins, you were my lifelight. Like you were just so incredible. You got me that acupuncturist and I didn't feel right with the acupuncturist. I call you and I'm like, I'm trying to have kids. You're like, okay, Sean, it's okay. And I was like, okay, try. Like, and you were helping me and just, you were just so phenomenal and you've been so great. And I just can't thank you enough because a lot of people, you just had Havana and you just didn't have, like, I didn't have anybody. And I was like, okay, if she can do it, I can do it. And, you know, I did it. And then you're like, twins. I didn't think I wasn't helping you with all that. Like, but yes, but
Two
no,
for
I
one
don't.
special.
I know, to and through, baby.
I got to
But
see them, by the way.
I know we're gonna make our way. We
Please.
are. I say like you and I live on the opposite coast of California. It's like going to a different country completely.
Well,
But
we could
yeah,
meet halfway too.
yeah, we will.
Okay.
And is that LA? Because we lived in LA for a long time. I'm so glad I'm out of LA. Are you glad you're out of LA? I could not have raised kids in LA.
So for all my folks who are going to watch this, who live in LA, I love you. And this isn't
Girl.
against you. I think about LA as it's a little bit of a grind for me. That's my main complaint about LA is raising children. Being in Orange County is calmer. It's clean down here. There's laws and
Oh,
order. Okay. I
mhm.
mean, you got to have some sort of like organization of some sort, you know? I mean, I was driving home from LA and there was a guy doing pull-ups on the overpass. And if this guy like
Pretty
lost his
impressive,
grip,
right?
he's going to dent my car and probably die.
And you with them? Yeah, not fun.
Right. So I
Yeah.
call 911 to save this guy's life. This is on the 101 freeway. Okay. And 911, I said, hey, there's a guy doing pull-ups on the overpass and I had to merge over just in case the guy falls. I was really scared for him and me. So, they're like, okay, we're going to patch you through to LAPD because I described where I was. And I'm like, okay, 90 seconds went by. And by then I was way down the road. I didn't even see the guy anymore. The guy's going to die if he's going to die. Like that's how long it took. I ended up hanging up.
Wow. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Here,
saying?
my neighbors called the cops because people run the stop sign on the corner. So a cop comes out and sits in front of the stop sign. I'm like, and it's not even a busy
You're like,
street.
no, I gotta stop. Damn it. Why do you have to be there today?
I know. I'm like, wow, okay. So it's a total opposite of growing up, like up and like
Yeah.
raising kids in LA, but it's a different time. Just like I talk about, let me just ask you one more because I can nerd out all day with you. What do you say to people that are like, well, I used to eat Oreos or I eat Oreos or all of that. And I didn't gain any weight, or any kind of different foods. What do you say to them now when there's so many more ingredients in it
There's
than when we were,
more.
right? Or
Yeah.
McDonald's? Yeah.
You and we used to play outside as kids when we ate that crap. Okay. We were much more active and the ingredients of Oreos were like probably like 6 to 8. Now it's like 30 something. There's all this different crap. I can't even pronounce half this stuff, but in general, I don't even think the Oreos are the problem. I think that people are just so nutrient depleted. People aren't eating enough protein. They're not eating enough like plants. They're not eating enough like, healthy fats. So there's a huge deficiency, which is putting them up for, the nightmare of disease from, eating this stuff. So I don't know. I think in general, we have to be more inclusive than exclusive rather than telling people stop eating that. We want to say, make sure you eat this. And then if you want an Oreo, that's on the periphery of optimal nutrition.
I love that because it's not like I can never have that again. It's more of like that doesn't work for my body anymore, right?
Yeah.
Or my energy. And because I'm
Yeah.
looking at people, I'm like, you have no energy. You're gone. It
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. And then then they don't want to parent. And then they drink. And I'm just like, okay, but
It's a
yeah,
cycle.
it is. It
Yeah.
is.
It's a cycle. And we want to teach people to have their treats. I don't call it cheats. I feel like, what are you cheating on? It doesn't feel good. Anything that you say that doesn't feel good, stop saying. Okay. Like I can't or I'll try. Just get away from things and focus on what you want. When you focus on anything, you're going to get it. So be very careful what you focus on. Turn the camera to what you want. If you want to be a healthy, fit person, focus on being healthy and fit. And I'm not saying look at the other people who are healthy and fit because you're not going to be inspired by that. Look for an old picture of yourself where you were your best self, or just every single day for the next year. I drew a calendar, January through December with the days of the month in the actual letters of the month. Okay. So for example, January, February, March, April, May, June, it said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for the amount of days. Can you visualize that or no?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can.
Every time you showed up and did the Jay-Z Fitness High Five, you color in that day. So by the end of the year, you have this big colorful chart of January through December. Okay.
I like that.
Because it's not a 12-week, it's not a 2-week, it's not a 30-day, let me go all in and be perfect, because that's not going to work for people. And it's very frustrating. People feel like they fail. People feel, I tried and I did so well and now I'm off track and I blew it. The narrative has gotten so negative with people that, it's almost like if they were my kid, I would take them into my arms and be like, but it's going to be okay. Okay, let's put today behind us and let's focus on being better right now.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
not wait till tomorrow.
And I think that's why I think you're so great, is because you can become, or find, I always tell people, find somebody that can become that voice in your head, because
Yeah,
sometimes it's your mother that was treating you awful, or your father that would criticize you all the time. So
yeah,
that's why I think it's great to have you and other leaders out there that you can just be kind and say, hey, be careful the way you talk about yourself, because you're listening. Because
yes,
we're listening, and everything
yes,
affects it. We can't get out of bed in the morning without our brain telling us to get up,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
To do with our body. It's more of our brain,
yeah,
And then also the gift of fear too. And like what you're saying with those moms, it's like, not that you fear them, but it's kind of like, would a llama be around a lion in the same, like, no, they'd be uninterested. They'd be like, I'm going to go do my llama
yeah.
stuff. And then not that those women are lions. I'm just saying, like, just don't put energy towards something that's not going to serve you,
Yeah, and they're not. And actually, they contribute nothing to our society. When you look at what these people do day to day, they literally just breathe our air. I
Right.
mean, when you could be rude to a 6-year-old, my 6-year-old says hello and they ignore her. To
No,
me, you're
no.
absolute dirt.
I want to punch them in the face, but I'm
You
learning.
don't
You're
need
going to have to
to,
help
because
me.
then
I
you're the
know.
one who gets arrested.
I know.
You
I
know,
know.
listen, I've learned at my age, there's going to be everyone under the sun, the good and the bad. And I like to focus on the good, the great people like yourself. We're doing podcasts like this to bring information to people on how to navigate through the world that we live in. Look, we're living in a very difficult time now. Who would have ever thought that we'd be living through a time like this? You read about it in history books. Your grandparents told you about it and you're like, oh, whatever. And then you're living through it and you're like, oh my gosh, okay. But you have two options. Okay. When a road bifurcates, you could go this way or this way. And I always use the example of, have you ever had a group of girls and you all were mad at one girl? Has that ever happened
Mm.
to you?
As a kid, yeah.
As a
As
kid
a
or even as an adult, like, can you believe she said that? She was
mm,
so wrong. And then you start talking about that person with other people. And for some reason, you start to feel yucky about talking about
mm.
them, even though you feel wronged by them. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I
It
do.
feels horrible. I'm like, wait a second. I don't want to surround myself with negative energy or negative talk. If I don't like them, goodbye. I don't need to go down that road. I'm going to focus on people that love me and people who are going to cherish what I bring to the world as I cherish what they bring to the world.
Mhm.
I'm not the leader of the pack. I'm a leader amongst leaders. I want to create leaders. I want my own kids to be leaders, not followers. If this kid's mean to you, walk away. Don't be mean back. Yeah, but they took my toy. You take your toy back and you say, no, thank you, and walk away. Be authentic to the person you want to be. You want to be
Ugh.
great? You got to act great. Great people don't hang out with the chickens, okay? Because the chickens have chicken feed. And that's what I told my mom the other day. I said, Ma, when I look at you, you're an eagle. You fly high in the sky, and there's no limit in a beautiful open sky, you know? But the second the eagle lands and it feeds with the chickens, you're like, what the hell is this nonsense I'm eating? So when we say what we think, it's not what we think, it's what we feel. We got to get people to understand how to feel. And if you're gorging yourself with shitty nutrition, you're not feeling good. Okay. It all plays into each other. Eat well, exercise. That's your medicine. Get your sleep. Channel your energies on feeling good. Surround yourself with great husbands and great friends every day of your life, not just a couple days a week, every day. These people don't serve you. And when I say serve you, not because you're the queen of the land, even though you are, but they should serve you by contributing to your awesomeness, where it's a synergy and we all feed off each other. We become a tribe of people that want the same for each other. And that's love and light, right?
Yes. Oh my
Boom.
gosh. You always make me feel so good after I talk to you. Okay. So breaking the chains of obesity, I'm going to put that link on there, and then the JZ5, and that's part of your course, right?
It is the course.
I love it. And I'm going to put that on there, and everyone is going to leave this podcast hopefully feeling good, learning something. And I just want to say one thing. You're so funny because you're like, it's not all about the science, and it's not the science, but then you're so good at the science that you don't make it about the science to people that don't get it. So you don't seem like you're like, okay, this was the science, but you like read so much and research and are so like awesome with the science that you put it in layman's terms so everybody can understand and they don't feel less than that they have to do the work. You've done it and then you put it in a great analogy like the
I do it every
love that.
day. It doesn't
Yeah.
stop, man. It
I
doesn't
love it.
stop, you know?
I love it. And I love you. I'm
I
so
love you
glad.
too. And we are not going to go like a couple of years before we speak again. Okay.
No, it hasn't been years. No, I promise. No, it's
No,
we'll
sometimes
catch
you
up.
nudge
We'll
me.
catch up another time. Yeah, I love you. Okay, well, thank you, and we'll see you soon. And I love you.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Love you.
Bye bye.